here's the point. That's a driving rhythm with a 3-drop. Every beat I've got here has got a 3-drop. 4 fingers of rhythm. Let's hear them. The first finger, the minimal finger, the skeleton finger, is just a 3-drop. That's it. The second finger, more substantial, more hats, more snare, a roll. Still with a 3, don't forget that 3. Now my hip hop beat. Alright, and my last one is that big fatty. And you can always break it down. And then you can put in breaks and bits and pieces however you want in your tune. But these are my 4 fingers of rhythm. Alright, there is one final thing to this, because you can't have 4 fingers alone. You can't grasp anything, you can't grab anything, you can't get a hold of anything with just 4 fingers. You need a thumb. Alright, and it kind of sounds dumb to say this is the thumb of music. 4 fingers of rhythm. The thumb, well, I think you might be able to guess pretty clearly what the thumb should be in a type of music that is the originator of drum and bass. The final finger or thumb of old school Johnny's 4 fingers of rhythm technique is the bass. Without the bass, it's kind of hard to like drive everything home. You can use the whole rhythm section to make everything you want, and even in some ways the bass is a rhythm too. But the bass is the thing that's going to really be the guts, the pusher, the kicker that you'll get from this kind of music. I use a really basic synth bass to start with. I like to play it low. Hope my GoPro can view this properly. Alright, so I'll play some really basic rhythm. To do that though, I listen to just maybe 1 or 2 rhythms. Maybe just 1 rhythm to keep me in time. I might use the hip hop rhythm because it's pretty relaxing. And if you have to listen to the same beat over and over and over again while you're trying to write your phrases, let it be one of the more subtle rhythms you have, because if I listen to the driving beat for 3 hours in a row, it's going to do my head in. Let's see. Alright, hollow bass. I haven't thought of any rhythm or any bass line. I haven't really come up with anything, but I usually like to do something on the 1 and then who knows what. Up or down or stay in the same place. I don't really plan ahead, but after a few minutes I start to get a feel for a rhythm or a feel for a bass line, and that's when I really get the idea that okay, this is a good tune or not a good tune. I can always change the rhythms later or change the drum kits that the rhythms are playing, but the bass line, you can't hide it anywhere because it's sort of in your face. You know, you can't sort of submerge a bass line in a tune because it's the part that you're feeling, and there's a physical part of reggae music, ska music, dub music, rock music, almost every kind of music except maybe folk music, because they like to use a lot of strings. Really simple. Well, that's out of time. It's better to play the phrase over and over again, because at least your fingers get used to it, your hands get used to playing it, and you physically get used to keying it into your instrument. Whereas if you're always quantizing and stuff like that, maybe you're spending more time editing than you are making the music part. I always leave my quantize on 1/16 because I don't get too fancy. I sometimes take it off 1/16 when I'm doing drums, because 30 seconds make really fast hi-hats sound really cool, especially in drum and bass and fast music or up-tempo music. In this case though, I'll try to keep it simple. It's very basic, it's just for the tutorial. I don't think this will end up being a tune. I'll probably keep these drum beats and use them for something else. But as far as this goes, all I'm going to do is demonstrate. Alright. Okay. Number one. I'll drop a minute every 4. Alright, I'll drop the bass in. Alright, so you got to hear the rhythms and the bass. It's a very boring bass line, I know. Pretty straightforward bass line, but you don't have to go nuts with a bass line. You don't have to fill every gap, every breath of air in between the rhythm. The bass is really there to sort of push your body in the right direction. And just finally, I'll show you what it sounds like with some keys on top of that. And because we're doing dub, a good old-fashioned piano. I'm not entirely sure what it will sound like in the end. And again, I don't want to play with all of the rhythm and everything all at once. I'll try and keep it simple so I can really hear what I'm doing. Alright, we got the makings of a tune. Alright, we've got the makings of a dub tune. The bass and the keys are not the hardest part. The keys are the easiest part. The hardest part is the rhythm, getting a good lively rhythm. So here's how it sounds. I'll throw some extra keyboard, some of this. Here's a haunting keyboard line. That's just echoing what the piano is doing. The only thing the piano is doing is playing A on the offbeat, F, and then E. That's it. 3 notes. I mean, of course, later in the tune you have to have another bass line to sort of face off against the first bass line and make a kind of a rhythm match or mismatch of a chorus and bass back and forth. And yeah, I'm still working on how to do that properly. We're all learning. We're all students of music. And in this case, now I've added my Korg, Micro Korg XL MIDI out from the drum machine. And what the piano is playing here is also going out and playing the Korg. Sounds much better. But the cool thing, you can play off the piano and the Korg against each other. Yeah, it's two instruments, but being played exactly the same. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this look into how I put my shit together. 4 fingers of rhythm, the skeleton, the filled out skeleton, let's call it the sinew, the muscle, which is the hip hop beat, and the outside, the skin, the thing that holds it all together, the driving rhythm, the stepper rhythm, the bashment rhythm, call it whatever you want, but that's the thing that really pushes the rhythm into dance mode. Thanks for tuning in.